Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Max Hargraves, and I will be the acting commission secretary today. The following is the May 12th, 2022, 699th Arizona Racing Commission meeting taking place via Google Meets, and I will call the roll. Chair Coolidge. Chair Coolidge, are you still in attendance?
You got me?
Oh, perfect. Yes. There you are.
Present.
Commissioner Gray?
Present.
And Commissioner Olson?
Present.
Thank you. The time's 10:01. We have a quorum.
Thank you. I'll call to order the Arizona Racing Commission meeting of May 12th, 2022. We are jumping right into action items, simulcast agreements pursuant to ARS 5-112U with Arizona Downs. Actually, I'm going to just pop it over to Mr. Duncan. Mr. Duncan, any overview from the department?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I have supplied and reviewed the contracts, and they are all in order. The division would recommend the 5-112U contracts be approved for items B1A 1 through 20 for Arizona Downs.
Thank you, sir. Just flipping through these, make sure I looked at them earlier. Any of my commissioners have any questions on these?
Chair, if I may.
Commissioner, go ahead.
Mr. Duncan, just a quick question. I noticed there were a few blank lines where there was, I think, 2 or more signatures, but there were still some blank signature lines on 3 agreements, the I'm going to mispronounce it, Asinabiola, Century Mile, and then the Columbus Expo. Have you received any updates on those 3 agreements?
Commissioner Olson, I'm looking at the Asinabal right now.
Yeah.
It is signed on page 9 of 12.
Okay. I'm looking at page 344 of our packet.
Okay, let me pull the packet up.
Of the first half, I should specify.
Correct. And if you go to 343, or I'm sorry, the one page up, 343, you'll see the signature.
Perfect. Thank you.
There are a few of them that are like that.
Okay.
They have actual signature pages.
Commissioner, it looks like it's in order on my end, but I'm going to wait for you to look at it.
And I was just going to say, it looks to be in order on my end, but I did want to say thank you, Mr. Duncan. This is, I think, the first time in a while that we've had a list this long where everything is here. So good job to everyone for getting that done.
Appreciate it, Commissioner. Thank you.
Yes, sorry, Mr. Duncan. I'm just trying to clarify. On 344, there's 2 signatures, but then there's 2 blank ones. Did those just not need to be signed? I saw the page previously has the other party, but there's 4 signature lines on page 344. I just want to clarify for my understanding.
Commissioner Olson, that is correct.
Okay,
They
perfect.
don't need to be signed.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thanks for the clarification.
Perfect. Appreciate just looking into that. That said, I will go ahead and make a motion that we approve the simulcast agreements to ARS 5-112U for Arizona Downs 1 through 20 is listed.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Chair Coolidge and a second by Commissioner Gray. I will call the roll. Chair Coolidge.
Yes.
Commissioner Gray.
Yes.
And Commissioner Olson.
Yes.
Thank you. Item B1A 1 through 20 are approved.
Yeah, sorry, you just threw me off with the B1. Jumping down to BB, Turf Paradise, 1 through 10. Mr. Duncan, any updates there?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman, it's just, they're all the same. B1, B1 through 10 for Turf Paradise, the division would recommend approval.
Any questions or concerns from my commissioners? Otherwise, I'll make a motion that we approve B1 through 10 for Turf Paradise simulcast agreements pursuant to ARS 5-112U.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Chair Coolidge and a second by Commissioner Gray. I will call the roll. Chair Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Gray,
Yes.
Commissioner Olson.
Yes.
Thank you. Those simulcast agreements are approved.
Thank you. We'll move to C. Rillito Park. Looks to have everything in order, but Mr. Duncan, I'll defer to you.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, everything has been completed for the 5112U for Belmont Park for Rillito, and the division would recommend approval.
That said, I will motion that we approve Rillito Park item 1 simulcast agreement pursuant to ARS 5-112U.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Chair Coolidge and a second by Commissioner Gray. I will call the roll. Chair Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Gray,
Yes.
and Commissioner Olson.
Yes.
Thank you. That simulcast agreement has been approved.
Dropping down to action item 2, simulcast horse racing import signals pursuant to IHA section 3004A3 for Arizona Downs 1 through 20. Mr. Duncan?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, the IHA analysis was provided. Under B2A for Arizona Downs, items 1 through 11 are complete. Now that the 5112U contracts have been approved. Items 12 through 20 are still missing either the host commission or host horseman. The division would make sure that those get turned in before the signal is turned on. And with that, the division would recommend approval or approval for items 1 through 11, and then
Yes, sir.
conditional approval 12 through 20.
Any questions or concerns?
Just one from me, Chair.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Mr. Duncan, on item 3, Emerald Downs, I think our packet only had the HBPA approval. Did the additional approvals come in later, or were they just not included in our packet?
That is a NIRA contract. The NIRA commission also is the HBPA as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. That said, I will move that we approve Arizona Downs 1 through 11 as listed.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Chair Coolidge and a second by Commissioner Gray. I will call the roll. Chair Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Gray,
Yes.
and Commissioner Olson.
Yes.
Thank you. Items 1 through 11 are approved.
Thank you, sir. I will move that we conditionally approve Arizona Downs 12 through 20 as listed, provided they complete all the prerequisite documents, and I will put it to the department to ensure that they don't see any delays in moving forward once we receive the required items.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Chair Coolidge and a second by Commissioner Gray. I will call the roll. Chair Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Gray,
Yes.
and Commissioner Olson.
Yes.
Thank you. Items 12 through 20 are conditionally approved.
Thank you, sir. We'll jump down to 2B Turf Paradise. Mr. Duncan, any updates that you have there?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. For Turf Paradise, items 1 through 4 are now complete. Items 5 through 10 are still missing either host commission or host horseman. The division would make sure to collect all the documents on the items 5 through 10. The division would recommend 1 through 4 be approved and 5 through 10 be conditionally approved.
I'm sorry. If everybody could make sure that they stay on mute, we'd appreciate it. Otherwise, I will move that we approve Turf Paradise 1 through 4 as listed.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Chair Coolidge and a second by Commissioner Gray. I will call the roll. Chair Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Gray,
Yes.
and Commissioner Olson.
Yes.
Thank you. Items 1 through 4 are approved.
I would move that we conditionally approve Turf Paradises 5 through 10 as listed, pursuant that they submit all required documents and leave it to the department to approve moving forward so they don't see me delete the signal.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Chair Coolidge and a second by Commissioner Gray. I will call the roll. Chair Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Gray,
Yes.
and Commissioner Olson.
Yes.
Thank you. Items 5 through 10 are conditionally approved.
Move to 2C Rillito Park. Mr. Duncan.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. With the approval of the 5112U contract, everything for Rillito Park, Belmont Park for Rillito is now complete.
Appreciate it. I'll move that we approve Rillito Park Belmont.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Chair Coolidge and a second by Commissioner Gray. I will call the roll. Chair Coolidge,
Yes.
Commissioner Gray,
Yes.
and Commissioner Olson.
Yes.
Thank you. That signal is approved.
Thank you. We'll move over to the information reports. Dr. Gale, looking forward to your update.
Thank you, Chair Coolidge, Commissioners. My report today will be a bit brief. I just want to sum up some of the results for the past 12 months. So I can include the total complete meets for each of the commercial tracks in Arizona. I think I'll be able to give a more detailed report in June if I am able to analyze this last year and find any trends of importance. Just the simple numbers, what was recorded in the past 12 months. So that would be from May 10th of last year to May 9th of this year. It includes the complete meet for Arizona Downs, Rillito, and Turf Paradise. There were 26 breakdown fatalities during racing of thoroughbreds and quarter horses. And that was out of nearly 10,000 starts. And so the rate per 1,000 for all breeds is 2.63. The Jockey Club only tallies thoroughbred breakdowns in their annual rate, which again for 2021 was 1.39. Doing that same figure for Arizona tracks, there were approximately 247 starts. There were 21 thoroughbreds that broke down, and that goes to a rate of 2.55. Again, Arizona Downs during their meet, June through September of last year, had 2 breakdowns. Rillito had a meet from end of February through beginning of April. They had 4 breakdowns. These are just thoroughbreds. And Turf Paradise from beginning of November to this just previous week in May, had 15 breakdowns. So the rates for each of those tracks for just thoroughbreds are 1.37 for Arizona Downs, Rillito 13.0, and then Turf Paradise was 2.31. The total number of horse deaths on all commercial racetracks in Arizona totaled 54. That broke down to the 26 racing breakdowns. There were 12 breakdowns during training hours at all tracks. And there were 16 fatalities classified as other, which could be either illness or accident on the backside, not involving anything on the track itself. Again, the one thing I would like to make a note of, I believe my last report was April 21st, I think was the last meeting. And again, at that time, we really had complete staffing. There were 2 of us, 2 veterinarians performing pre-race exams, plus Dr. Butler is the afternoon vet. We were able to communicate with each other before the races each day. And prior to even doing the exams, we had horses, histories, and any horses at higher risk were red flagged for additional scrutiny. And it should be noted that from March 4th through this first week of May at Turf Paradise, there were no race day breakdowns. So we did have, I think, some success this spring with implementing proper staffing measures and thorough pre-race exams. I think that did make a big difference in our breakdown rate. So I certainly want to continue that going forward. And again, a number of these protocols that we have been putting into place will be required under the Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Authority. And so one would hope that if we implement those fully, we should be able to reduce the number of breakdowns going forward. I'd be happy to take any questions.
No questions. I just, again, want to thank you for all your work, Dr. Gale. Also looking forward to your report when you and Mr. Duncan have had a chance to look at all this information. Another thing I was just kind of, and I talked to Mr. Duncan about this the other day, and I was wondering if it might be useful to start tracking what all the horses that were vanned off, because I know like in greyhound racing, they would track all the dogs that tumbled, and then if that dog never came back to race or basically disappeared, it was considered dead, and oftentimes it was sitting in somebody's couch. So I think it might be important to know the result, what happened to the vanned off horse. It may have just gone off to the rehoming program or something and is not racing anymore.
That is information that I would like to be able to share at the next meeting. Would be, again, a number of those horses that get vanned off get put on a veterinarian's list. And so it'd be interesting to see again how many of those returned to racing, how many were not able to return to racing, as well as the presentation you had last month about claiming. And I want to look further at that data again to see how many, if there's any patterns associated with the horses that were claimed and then never raced again. That's the sort of information I'd like to present next time.
Excellent. Thank you.
I look forward to that information as well. Any other questions from my fellow commissioners? Thank you, Dr. Gale.
Thank you.
Director Casillas, Mr. LaForest to give our budget report.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The CFO LaForest is unavailable. At this time, there are no budget concerns going forward. However, I wanted to take the opportunity to inform the commission that the division has been working tirelessly with the permittees regarding the state and federal grant monies being disseminated to the permittees. So that's been in progress. We're meeting with the permittees, HVPA, quarter horse folks to have further discussions on tweaking the contracts regarding the state federal grants so that we can simplify moving forward. For the wagering public and the horsemen's benefit, I want to share some information regarding Arizona Downs. They have submitted their application for a permit with all required documentation. It looks like their financials are in order at this stage, and they will be on the agenda for next month for your consideration for approval. So everything's looking good for Arizona Downs at this point.
Thank you, sir, for the update. Congratulations, Arizona Downs, on getting all of your financing in order. We look forward to seeing that on the next month's agenda and reviewing. Any questions from other commissioners?
No questions. I just want to thank Rudy for taking my calls and working with everyone and getting getting this done. Much appreciated, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Gassman, do you want to give us an update on the International Horse Racing Integrity Act?
Yes, Chairman Libra Guestman. I don't really have much to update as far as the HBPA lawsuit. As I mentioned in the last meeting, we did file our appeal, and nothing new has happened with the state's lawsuit either. So, as you know, court systems take a while to work their way through. I would be interested in hearing what Director Casillas has to say about the HISA program and what the state's response was to their invoice and how the state's going to proceed forward with July 1st approaching this very quickly.
Mr. Gassman, I don't know if you can get closer to the microphone. At least I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you.
I believe he was wanting the director to give maybe a statement on what the state's position is, especially with the date approaching us quickly.
I'm not sure if the department's ready to issue that. Mr. Director, is that something that you'd be prepared to issue, or do you want to add that possibly later?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I couldn't understand what Mr. Guessman was asking.
I think he's asking for an update as far as the department's concerned on the International Horse Racing Integrity Act. Commissioner Gore, did I convey that? I
That
didn't
is
hear
correct,
you.
because the bill is, I believe, due within a month. And I think the horsemen are just kind of wanting to know where we stand.
Yes, at this stage, I did send a letter off to the HISA organization informing them that the state of Arizona would not voluntarily implement the program, and we would not be paying the assessment at this point. We feel that things are still in the middle of litigation through all the court filings, and we're going to give it some time to see if they will maybe offset this for a period of time and let the court actions take place and see where it lands.
Understood.
I was just wanting to say, while I agree with what HISA is trying to do, with just some of the communications I saw, I'm gravely concerned about HISA's thinking that they do not need to operate under the Freedom of Information request. And I think that would just be terrible if our horse racing members were not able to do Freedom of Information request on HISA and how they're operating.
Agree with you on that, Commissioner. Well, we'll see how it moves going forward, and we're going to keep an eye on it. So, Mr. Gassman, we'll stay in communication with you on that. If you have any questions, I would direct you to the department, and we'll give updates as we have them. As far as that goes.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Appreciate it, sir. Move down to C4, which is the Permittee Reports, American Greyhound Racing. Any updates?
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, we have no update this month. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Arizona Downs?
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, this is Michael Weiss representing Arizona Downs. First off, I want to thank everybody again for their help to get us to the place where we are now, because we are absolutely in full preparation for a terrific meet. Live opening is planned for June 25th. We are currently already working to make the track surface as safe as possible. We were overwhelmed, which was fantastic, with stall applications. So we are absolutely getting prepared. We are going to let the horses in. Actually, we will let trainers come in for setup this Saturday, the 14th, and let the horses arrive on the 16th. So we will be plenty of preparation. And that's for the opening day, June 25th, where we will expect to give over $100,000 a day in purses. We're also trying to expand our equine wellness program and I'll have more details on that to go as we come sooner because I'm looking to hire another veterinarian. So we're all excited about this year. We want to thank everybody for their help. And same with Mr. Guessman. The relationship has just been terrific with the horsemen. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Weiss. Before I jump down and call on you again for Rillito Park, I just wanted to commend the track for making safety a priority. We know that the department will have a vigilant eye on the track and know that it's going to be a priority for y'all, as important for all of us. If you would, just stay on with me and we'll jump down to 4D since I have your attention.
Well, on behalf of Rillito Park, we did have a strong finish. We had no issues the last few weeks. Had a nice Derby Day party. And, as always, I'm very proud of the strong student involvement. We not only had racetrack industry program students working everywhere from, I had one that wanted to work the starting gate this year. So from the racing office to the on-air personalities, but we also had journalism students and pre-vet students working along. So it's quite an education, and we've been very involved in helping them go forward in their careers. Thank you again.
Will you have any of the students up at Arizona Downs?
I am hoping to. I have one that is actually teetering, waiting on an offer from TVG. So
all right.
You will know this weekend. If it isn't what she expects, then we will have her back over at Arizona Downs. And I actually, there is another one that wants to, she was our on-air personality in Tucson and is a big horse person in the actual physical sense. So the last week she was trained by our outriders to become a pony person. And I believe she's coming up to pony horses this summer.
Even
Thank
after
you.
the Kentucky Derby?
I'm sorry?
Even after the Kentucky Derby?
Yeah, right. We're going to dress her in armor. Thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll bump back up to county fairs. I know Tucson Greyhound Park doesn't have any updates this month, dropping down to Turf Paradise. Mr. Mayor.
Chairman Coolidge, good morning. Good morning to the commission. On Saturday, May the 7th, Turf Paradise completed its 124-day race meet. If the commission, chairman or commission has any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
None from me, sir.
No real questions, but I know we're going into the off season now. So I was kind of thinking, Mr. Francia, I mean, I remember, I think of my second year on the commission, after a meeting was done, I was walking in the parking lot and out of the darkness came this shadowy figure, which turned out to be you. Going through my head, I was sure I was about to get whacked. But I remember you said to me, Commissioner, you just saved horse racing. And I would like to maybe be able to kind of work with you here in the off season, kind of maybe be a bridge and see what we can do to make improvements for next year and get everyone working together.
That's very generous, Commissioner. Turf Paradise is always open to any of the commissioners or members of the department working with Turf and the horsemen to move everything forward. Right now, we're the first week after racing, in most racetracks, we're shutting everything down, and then we move into projects during the summer that we wish to accomplish.
Thank you. I'll be reaching out to you now that my workload is kind of dialing back down and I'm over my hissy fits.
Oh. Okay. Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay. Excuse me. All right, we'll drop down to C5, the Optional Industry Stakeholder Association updates, Arizona Counties Racing Association. Arizona Quarter Horse Racing Association. Arizona Thoroughbred Breeders Association. HBPA.
Okay, does the sound better now?
Yes, sir. Much better. Thank you.
Okay, Leroy Guessman, Arizona HBPA. Commissioners, I just let you know, as Mr. Francia said, we did just wrap up the meet here at Turf, and horsemen are busy moving out. And starting Sunday, they will be able to start setting everything up at Arizona Downs. And the final horses will be moved out by Tuesday afternoon. So looking forward to moving up to Prescott and working with Arizona Downs currently on getting our contract finalized and getting everything situated to get the meet started on June 25th. Any questions? I'll be glad to answer. That's all I have for today.
None here. Great news, and wish everybody safe travel up north.
Thank you.
Jockeys Guild. Okay, drop down to commission reports. Any of my commissioners have any updates or matters to be placed on future agendas?
No, nothing to be put on the agenda, but I did just want to give the commission and department an update. I know everyone probably saw a month ago the possibility that Watch and Wager may be looking to do harness racing here in Arizona. So a couple of weeks ago, I flew over with my wife to Sacramento and visited the Track Cal Expo and met with the Watch and Wagering team and met with a lot of the people on the backside, and just wanted to report really great people, and looking forward to hopefully be able to work with them here in the near future.
Perfect. Otherwise, oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner. You have
That's okay. I was just gonna say nothing from me, Chair. I appreciate all the reports today.
Thank you, ma'am. Doesn't look like we have anyone signed for call to the public, but I'll open it up, see if we have any hands raised.
Mr. Coolidge, we do have a Mr. Steve Nolan who has recently signed up for a call to the public.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Mr. Nolan?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'm a little reluctant to do this because in the past, anything that is said seems to have fallen upon deaf ears. I'll go real brief for a quick example. It was at the last meeting that Commissioner Gorey asked for us to have an update on the litigations pending with the Sims, all the Sims' litigations. One is a 12-year-old case. The one against the commission that made it to the state Supreme Court is a 7-year case, and it's now been kicked back down to the appellate court for one final issue concerning Mr. Ron Sims' due process claims. I'm wondering why, even after the Chair Coolidge asked the department to have some transparency in these matters, we don't see it on this agenda as requested at the last meeting. So my reluctance to speak is fallen upon deaf ears. Secondly, with that said, over the period of since November 13th or 17th, there's been 18 grievances filed with the department in compliance with the statutes. There's been no response to these 18. On March 3rd, another complaint was filed. According to the statutes, I believe it'd be R19-121D2 against a racing official. That would be Director Casillas for failing to regulate these other 18 grievances that were timely filed, properly filed, and yet there's been no response. These are all safety concerns that were done after the safety report that came out. None of these issues have been addressed properly through the proper channels. As you can see, for me to say it here, it's hard because it's fallen upon deaf ears. Have we seen some response to any of these people's concerns ever addressed? Maybe we should reevaluate the items on the agenda. Maybe we should do call to the public before commission reports. That way, if something relevant is there, a commission could identify a matter to be placed on a future agenda. But when you do it backwards, anything said here will be forgotten and swept under the carpet like 18 grievances and a grievance against Director Casillas for failing to deal with these 18 grievances. The The place is deplorable. It does not facilitate anything for future growth of racing in Arizona. The failure to regulate is abundant, and the appearances of impropriety are enormous. Please come out and see it for yourselves before we move any further. So thank you for your time. I hope you take it a little more serious than sweeping it under the carpet. People do spend time filing out grievances, hoping that they'll be heard, hoping to have a hearing, bring the preponderance of evidence to a hearing, and then have this proper regulation to take action when necessary. To have it not even be heard is appalling, and it's failure to regulate. And I wanted that on the record. There's 18 grievances still pending without any response. And I thank you for your time. Maybe we get procedure before the commission on a decision of the director to not regulate. And we could have a hearing for him before the commission and let the people of the state or the people in the industry bring the concerns so that you could be told the truth. I personally don't think that this commission has been told the truth. You get two hours of meeting, 12 months, 24 hours to handle an industry that is in utter embarrassment to anybody who's been in it for quite a lot of years. With that, I'm done. I wanted it on the record. Maybe you take something serious for a change, and let's try to move an industry forward for the people of the state of Arizona. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dropping down to announcements, the next regularly scheduled commission meeting will be at 10 a.m. on Thursday, June 9th, 2022, likely via Google Meet, and is subject based on a quorum. That said, I would hear a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Thank you. I have a motion by Chair Coolidge, a second by Commissioner Gray. Did I get that one right? Apologies.
Actually, I think I made the motion. so
He
I
made
need
the
a second.
motion. I'll
Apologies.
second it.
Apologies. I have a motion by Commissioner Gray, a second by Chair Coolidge. I will call the roll. Commissioner Gray,
Yes.
Chair Coolidge,
Yes.
and Commissioner Olson.
Yes.
Thank you. The time is 10:38 and this meeting is adjourned.